The ocean was calm that evening, too calm for what lay beneath it. The surface shimmered silver under the fading light, but far below, in the silent depths, a stolen nuclear prototype waited like a sleeping animal. Arion Vale watched the sonar screen inside the mini-submersible, his jaw tight, his eyes fixed. Liora Sin sat beside him, her fingers racing across a tablet filled with encrypted signals, radiation graphs, and pulsing alerts. Neither of them had slept properly in days. Neither of them could afford to. "Time isn't on our side," Arion said quietly. His voice carried command even in a whisper. "Rahim has the detonator. Adrian Cole dropped the bomb here when he panicked. If Rahim gets a clean signal, this entire coastline will go up." Liora zoomed in on the screen. The device, it's moving upward, slowly, not like a drone, not like a lift mechanism. She paused, her brows furrowed. "This is something else." Arion frowned. "Something is pulling it?" Liora shook her head. "No, more like the bomb is being guided." They both stared at the blinking dot that represented the stolen nuclear hybrid device. Every few seconds it shifted, not randomly, not mechanically, with purpose. Arion tightened his grip on the controls. "Whatever it is, we have to get there before Rahim's men do." Behind them, the Navy waited on standby, divers suited up, helicopters circling above, and Admiral Roswell monitoring every channel of communication. But Arion knew this was no simple recovery mission. A U.S. scientist had betrayed his nation, stolen an advanced nuclear prototype, and partnered with a radical domestic terrorist group planning a catastrophic demonstration. And then, when the Coast Guard intercepted the transfer, Dr. Adrian Cole panicked and dumped the device into the ocean. That single act awakened something far older and deeper than their understanding. The seafloor. 5 minutes later, Arion brought the sub down through a wall of blue darkness. Floodlights cut through the murky water, revealing ridges of sand and rock. Then, as the lights passed over a jagged shape, Liora inhaled sharply. "There it is!" Half buried under sediment, wrapped in corroded cables and broken metal, the prototype bomb lay like a dormant beast. A compact, shielded black cylinder with metallic ridges and a core capable of wiping out 2 coastal cities. As Arion extended the robotic arm, the device suddenly emitted a low, trembling pulse. The entire sub vibrated. Alarms flickered red. Sonar spiked. Liora's eyes widened. "That's an auto-defense surge. If we destabilize it any further, it might escalate." Arion slowly retracted the arm. "We can't touch it until we neutralize Rahim's signal." Liora worked furiously, opening Navy-linked channels, satellite pings, and encrypted frequency maps. A faint beacon suddenly appeared. Origin, an abandoned offshore oil rig. Arion's heart dropped. "Rahim's there. He's going to trigger it." And then something outside the sub moved. Not fast, not aggressive, just massive. Arion and Liora both froze as a shadow glided past the sub, the shape long, majestic, and unsettling. A slow ripple of bioluminescent light pulsed along what looked like a dorsal ridge. Eyes glowed softly in the dark. Not hostile, not curious, protective. Liora whispered, "Arion, that thing is covering the bomb." The creature circled once, then gently pressed its enormous body against the prototype, pinning it deeper into the seabed like a mother shielding her young. Arion said slowly, "It's not guarding the bomb from us. It's guarding the ocean from the bomb." Whatever this deep-sea species was, it wasn't a monster. It was a natural protector, reacting instinctively to radiation and foreign disruption. But human threats were still active, deadly active. The mission splits. "Arion," Admiral Roswell's voice crackled through the radio. "Rahim's men are gearing up. They'll reach the rig in 10 minutes. If he activates that detonator, we won't have time to intercept." Arion made a decision with zero hesitation. "I'm going to the rig." He turned to Liora. "You stay here and intercept Rahim's transmission. If you can jam his signal, even for a few seconds, it could save millions." Liora looked at him, fear and trust intertwined. "I'll stop him. You just bring him back alive, or unconscious." Arion smirked faintly. "Alive is optional." Minutes later, Arion boarded an inflatable raft with 3 Navy operatives. The sea was calm above the chaos below. The abandoned oil rig loomed ahead, rusted steel, broken girders, and the eerie hum of illegal generators. Rahim's men were scattered, heavily armed. Arion climbed the structure like a ghost, every step calculated, every breath silent. 2 guards were neutralized swiftly, one with a suppressed shot, one with an elbow strike that knocked him flat. Inside the rig's control deck, Rahim stood over a laptop filled with encrypted detonator commands. He wasn't a foreign extremist or a caricatured villain. He was American, educated, radicalized by resentment and ideology. Dangerous because he believed he was right. He held the detonator like a sacred object. Arion stepped inside. "Rahim, it's over." Rahim spun, panic flashing in his eyes. "You don't understand. The system is corrupt. This will wake up the country." He pressed the trigger. A shocked beep echoed. Then silence. Arion lunged. The 2 crashed into a control panel. Metal screeched. The detonator slipped from Rahim's fingers and skidded across the platform. Arion moved first. He kicked Rahim back, rolled and grabbed the device. Rahim screamed, "It's too late! You can't stop the signal!" But miles away, under the ocean, inside the sub, Liora Sin had already done the impossible. Liora's move. Rahim's encryption wasn't standard. It shifted keys every 30 seconds, randomizing itself. But Liora found a pattern buried in the noise, a repeating structure built into the stolen prototype's firmware. "Got you," she whispered. Her fingers flew over the digital interface. Lines of code blurred. She isolated Rahim's authentication window, intercepted the signal, and slammed a digital wall between the detonator and the bomb. When Rahim pressed the trigger, the signal went nowhere. Back on the rig, Arion twisted Rahim's arm behind his back and slammed him on the grated floor. "Your revolution's over." He didn't fight. He just stared up with wild eyes. "You're saving a system that doesn't deserve saving." Arion leaned in. "I'm saving innocent lives. That's the difference between you and me." The protector's role. With Rahim captured and the detonator secured, Arion signaled the Navy. The prototype was stable, for now. But the creature still hovered over it, emitting low pulses, like oceanic heartbeats. Liora watched the seismic patterns on her monitor. Arion, it's holding the device steady. Without it, the pressure waves might destabilize the casing. Arion looked out to the dark water. Then let it do its job. For the first time, humanity and nature weren't enemies. They were accidental allies. The aftermath. Dr. Adrian Cole was arrested the same night, shaking, defeated, surrounded by evidence Arion and Liora recovered. Offshore accounts, contracts, illegal communications. He had betrayed his country. He had betrayed his country for money, power, and scientific arrogance. Rahim was taken into federal custody, his so-called movement exposed and dismantled. The bomb was safely extracted days later with careful manipulation, only after the protector creature drifted away into the deep, satisfied that its job was done. Arion and Liora stood on the pier as Navy ships secured the area. The night was quiet. The sea was calm, naturally this time. Liora whispered, "In the end, nature saved us." Arion nodded. "Maybe the ocean understands consequences better than we do." They watched the last ripple fade into the horizon. Case 3 was officially closed. But both of them knew, the deeper they went into the world's shadows, the more they realized, human greed is the real monster. And sometimes the ocean fights back.